nerds, this is Pam coming to you from Stationery Nerd. Today we're going to look at the Ghost Grid dot journal. We've got both the hardcover version and the spiral bound. So let's take a look and see what's inside. So first of all, I brought in the spiral version just because I happen to have this notebook as well. It is not part of the official review on the website. I think I mentioned it, but otherwise I just wanted to bring it in to give you an idea of the quality of the spiral version as well. It comes with this thick plastic cover on the front and also on the back, and and then there is the cardboard cover, and there's a similar cardboard cover on the front. However, I actually have decorated the front with some scrapbook paper, a couple of journaling cards, and a quote. And then the inside as well. There's a place here to write your name. And then we also have 4 pages for index. And then it gets right straight into the dot grid. Now I've been using this, so there's some pages in here. This is an expense tracker that I started back in March and never did anything else with. And then in the back I did some additional expense tracking. So this is 100 GSM paper and it is bright white. Actually, let me compare it for you with a piece of regular copy paper. And that is basically the same thing, identical color. And the dot grid on this is a 5mm. Let me just double check. Yep, 5mm on this. And let me just count the dots for you on the spiral bound. Okay, so we have 44 dots down and 28 dots across. However, the dot here along the edge of the spiral is really, really close. So you have basically no margin there and no margin on the side. So just keep that in mind as you're counting on how many dots to be able to use on a page. But it is 28 across, 44 down. And I don't think I did a pen test in this paper, in this notebook, but we'll get into it in the other. So I really love this binder, or this dot grid spiral notebook. It is one of the few that I actually recommend in spiral. So I'm going to set this aside and let's take a look at the bound journal. There are 2 different versions of the bound journal with Ghost Grid, and let's take a look here. Ghost Grid hardcover. These are in alphabetical order, so I have to say my alphabet in my head in order to find it. This is a spec worksheet that I have available for you to download on my website, and you can see here the address for that is stationery-nerd.com/journals. And on here I have all of the specs that you need to know about every single journal that I have reviewed. There's about 30 of them with more coming. So Ghost Grid, I paid $17.99 for this, and it is slightly narrower than A5. It is 8.25 by 5.25, so just a little bit off of a A5. This is the Leuchtturm 1917, which is a true A5 size, so it is a bit narrower. Oops, let's put that one over there. It's actually considered, rather than A5, they call it half letter. Now this is a journal that is manufactured in the United States, so it's actually made in Ohio, and the paper is produced in Canada, so that's why you're not getting A5 size. They also have a letter size journal that's 8.5 by 11, and they truly just call it letter and half letter. So that's why the sizes are the way that they are. Now this is the faux grain texture, And then they also have a faux leather texture, and I chose this one because I wanted to feel what the texture was on this. I'm not sure if you can see. So first of all, they've got their branding on the front, and that is embossed with a darker shade on the inside. But then, I wonder if you can see this. Let's see. So there is a texture on it, and it's soft as if it were leather, but it's like textured leather, and then it's colored to make it look like a piece of wood. So as it's sitting on the table from afar, you think that this is actually a wood journal. But then when you touch it and feel it, it actually feels more leather-like. So let's just take a look inside. Again, their branding is on the inside. I'm not thrilled about when journal makers do that. I would prefer that they just be minimal. I don't mind this here. I kind of don't even mind this because it's a cool name, but it would have been nice to not have that, or even, you know, take this little ghost and give me a little emblem here at the bottom. So anyway, place for name and address, and then that's actually right on the inside front cover, right on the end paper, which is unusual. I've never seen that in any other journal. And then you've got a heavy cardstock here, and then you get right into your index pages. This is unusual as well. This is actually the book binding that is attached to the signatures in the binding part. So it's strange that there's a piece of book binding tape here on the inside of that cardstock end paper. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of index charts, and then right into the page numbers, page number 1 on all of the dot grid paper. And the page numbers are pretty small, but you can still read them very well. So they're kind of unobtrusive on the page, which I like a lot. Let's just do a quick count on dots in this one as well. Okay, so this is unusual. This book has fewer dots than the other book. So we're 26 across and 42 up and down. Makes me wonder if I miscounted on the other. So just a minute. Nope, I actually counted correctly. So this spiral bound has more dots than the hardbound. So keep that in mind if the dot counts are important to you. Okay, so let's take a look. The back cover does not have a back pocket. And yes, that's Pounce. She's going to lay there until she decides that she's not going to behave. So yeah, she just likes the nice lights of the video table. And again, we've got that same tape binding on the inside of that end paper. I don't know, I feel like that's really strange. I don't think I've noticed that before. And then we do have a bookmark. It is red. There is no bookmark in the spiral bound, and this is a satin bookmark. And feels a little short to me, but I think it's fine. It's just not extra long like some of them are. So let's take a look at the pen test. Let's take a look at the pens that I've chosen to use in the pen test first. So I did choose 2 of the liquid highlighters by Sharpie, and also a variety of black pens. We've got gel pens, fine liners, a Sharpie pen, we've got a fountain pen, and a variety of other pens that I just had in my stash. So I'll list all of these pens below so that you can see each one of them. And then we're also going to take a close look here at the results. So this paper holds up really well. There is no feathering on anything that I can see. And because the paper is so bright white, everything shows up really crisp and clean on it. It's like extra bright, or extra, it's like the dark black of the pen looks extra black against the bright white of the paper. And then on the back, you can see we have very minimal ghosting at all. These two here, the Bic 730 R 7mm and the Pilot Varsity fountain pen, those two are the only two that ghost. Otherwise, everything else is almost non-existent there. So very good quality paper, nice and thick, and the coating helps with the feathering and the ghosting on that. So great option, and I love that they call it the Ghost Grid, just because it doesn't ghost. And also the dots are fairly light. I think that's one of the other features of the name. So there we go. Ghost Grid hardbound and Ghost Grid spiral bound. Both of them really great options. And I love that they are a veteran owned company located in the United States, and that manufacturing happens in Ohio. And as you know, I'm in Michigan, so Ohio is my neighbor to the south, and it almost feels like I'm just buying locally from a neighbor. You know, Ghost Grids made in the neighborhood. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to wrap this up, but leave me a comment below and let me know, do you have one of these, and which one, and then also what do you use them for? I see several people use their spiral bound as a budget journal, and I'm wondering if you do that as well, or if you use it for something else. Anyway, that's it for now. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video with a friend, and we will talk to you again next time. Bye.